Trigger is a drum replacement plugin from SLATE Digital. It can help make drums that sound like this sound more like this, or this, or even this. It accomplishes this by using a 6-channel, phase-accurate drum replacement engine. This means that with one instance of the plugin, you can trigger up to 6 stereo multi-velocity sample sets. Each sample channel has its own volume, pan, mute, solo, tune, phase, attack, sustain, release, and velocity and dynamic controls. This instance of Trigger has 2 close mic samples and 2 room mic samples. Let's use the mixer to customize this snare sound. In the upper left corner of Trigger's display window, you can see a mix setting, a high-pass filter setting, and a unique feature to Trigger called Leakage Suppression. Listen to this real snare drum track. You can both hear and see that the snare track has picked up the kick drum bleed. By sending a copy of the kick drum track into Trigger's leakage sidechain, Trigger's engine will now ignore all kick drum bleed in the snare track. In this example, we've sent both the kick drum and the tom track to Trigger's suppression sidechain. You can see the blocked kick and tom waveforms in red. Trigger's phase-accurate sample replacement engine can reproduce even the most detailed drum parts. It accomplishes this by using the same advanced AMG playback algorithm found in Steven Slate Drum's virtual instrument. To show off Trigger's detailed playback engine, let's first take a listen to this complex snare fill. Using its sidechain leakage suppression to only resample the snare drum hits, let's hear Trigger replace this snare fill. You can hear that Trigger replaces the snare fill, capturing every nuance from the softest ghost hits to the hardest rimshot cracks, without triggering the kick drum bleed. Trigger's preset articulations can help you quickly get the sound you want for your mix. In regular mode, Trigger chooses samples from the whole dynamic pool. In rimshot mode, Trigger will only play back randomized rimshot samples. In soft mode, Trigger will favor only the softer hits for a more easygoing sound. In hard mode, Trigger focuses on only the hardest hits. This allows you to customize Trigger's playback engine to your mix with just a few mouse clicks. Let's take a listen to Trigger switch from soft mode to hard mode. By hitting the Settings tab, Trigger reveals more options like its live or accurate mode. In live mode, Trigger's engine switches to an almost no latency setting that is perfect for triggering drums in a live setting. Next, you can see Trigger's Midi I/O. Using Trigger's MIDI output, you can trigger virtual instruments in real time like Steven Slate Drums, Superior Drummer, BFD2, or Oceanway Drums. A drum replacer is only as good as the samples that it triggers. Trigger comes stock with industry-standard drum sample sets from Steven Slate, used by many of the top producers and mixers in the industry. With the Stephen Slate samples, you get drum sounds that are ready for the mix and need no tweaking or further processing. Also included in the Stephen Slate sample sets are drum kits modeled after classic artists such as Led Zeppelin, Metallica, Dream Theater, Steely Dan, and more. Trigger also ships with a sneak peek of the upcoming Stephen Slate Deluxe drums. Deluxe drums are a highly detailed set of samples that offer individual close mic, stereo overhead, and 2 sets of room mics from NRG Recording. Let's first listen to this Deluxe snares close mic. Now some overheads. The first room mics. The second room mics. And now the full drum mix. And this is the drum tracks that we started with. For those of you who want to use your own samples, Trigger's Instrument Maker can make drum instruments with up to 127 articulations, 127 velocities per each articulation, and 127 alternating hits per each velocity. Thanks for watching this video on Slate Digital's Trigger. Please visit SlateDigital.com for more details and to download a trial version.